Zia Chapter 7. We were now near the southern tip of the Santa Cruz island, not far from where we had started. Night was coming, and I thought it best to wait and leave early in the morning before the wind came. There was a small headland near us. I had noticed yesterday afternoon that there was a good anchorage beyond it. It was in a cove, protected from waves and wind. "Take an oar," I said to Mondo. "Vámonos." "I thought I was the captain," he replied. I shoved an oar into his hand, and we began to row toward the cove. As we rounded the promontory, I saw close off to our bow a large whaling ship. On each side of the ship floated a dead whale. Fires were going on deck, and a cloud of oily smoke drifted toward us. The smoke was so thick it was hard to see, but gradually I made out on the ship's stern, printed in gold letters, the name Boston Boy. We were now within shouting distance of the ship. Quietly, I said to Mondo, "The ship is the one that lost its longboat in the storm. Do as I say. Do not talk. Push with your oar while I pull with mine, and we will circle back and go the way we came. Use your oar deliberately and slowly while I do the same. If God is with us, they will not see that the boat we are rowing is the boat they lost." "I will speak a word to Mukat," my brother whispered, and began to mumble to himself. "Push on your oar and be quiet, nor look in their direction." "Our boat has a new color and a new name," Mondo said. "They will not recognize it." "If they do, we're in trouble," I answered. "Now that we have made our turn, I will row, and you put out your fishing lines. They will think we are fishermen, maybe." The smoke from the fires grew thin, but we were less than half a league from the promontory. Once beyond it, we could not be seen from the ship. I began to row faster, until I thought my lungs would burst. The boat was heavy and not meant for two oarsmen. We reached the headland and pulled into the cove, out of sight of the ship. We had outwitted the Anglos. We were safe. "Mukat heard me," Mondo said. As he spoke those words, a longboat rounded the headland. It was the same kind of boat as ours. 4 men were at the oars, and 1 sat in the bow. They rowed to where we were drifting. They rowed around us, once in silence. They were black from the fire and whale smoke. Then they all shipped their oars except one, who kept his oar in the water and steered. One of the men had blue eyes. He stood up and spoke to me. "Where did you get the boat?" he asked. "At the Mission Santa Barbara," I said. "How long have you had it?" "Since the storm?" "Yes," I said, "since the storm." "It washed ashore?" "Yes." Mondo spoke up. "I painted it and worked on it and gave it a new name," he said. "So I see," the man with blue eyes said. "But the boat is ours." "It is one we lost in the storm. We lost 2 men also." The boat belongs to us," I said. "Father Vicente says that there is a law. Because it washed ashore and we found it, it is ours." "That is the law," Mondo said. "Father Vicente vows it." A man who sat in the bow of the longboat and had said nothing spoke up now. He had a face with many wrinkles, though he was a young man, and the tip of one of his ears was missing. In the other, he wore a heavy gold earring with a pearl in it. "Enough talk," he said. He had a deep voice, and he bit the ends of his words off. "We have work to do. Put them ashore and be done with them." "We can use another hand," the man with the blue eyes said. "John Tucker turned up his sick this morning, and last night Woods got his arm burned bad. The young one looks like he could do a little stoking, and the girl can help in the galley. Cook us up some of those Mexican tortillas and frijoles." "Makes sense to me," one of the whalers said. "We'll get in trouble with the mission if we leave them on the island." The young man in the bow said nothing for a while. He was looking us over carefully. Then he said, "Women on the ship bring bad luck. Usually, that is." But once on the Caleb Stone, the captain had his wife along, and we killed 7 whales in one day. Killed 5 the next. We almost sank with oil. We split a good 30,000 on that voyage, the best of the season. He gave a signal, and one of the whalers jumped aboard with a robe in his hand. He tied it to our bow and went back and took up his oar. The 4-man began to row, towing us after them. My brother and I sat silent and fearful. The young man with the blue eyes called back to us, "Give us a hand. This is no free boat ride." Mondo and I took up our oars and began to row. I did not row hard, nor did Mondo, who kept his eyes on the rope that was towing us, as if he had a mind to cut it. I spoke to him in Indian dialect so the Anglo whalers would not understand. Do not use your knife on the rope or the white men. They are many, and there are 2 of us. They will kill us, and not think twice about it. Be polite, and do as you are told. I will use my knife tonight while they sleep. You will do nothing with your knife, nor with your tongue. I will speak to Mukat, Mondo said. Speak to Mukat all you wish, but to the white men say nothing. We rounded the headland and set off in the direction of the whaling ship. It was still billowing smoke. Through the smoke, I could see the fires burning and men moving about on the deck and on the carcasses of the 2 dead whales. It looked like the scene Father Vicente described to us sometimes, like the smoke and fires of hell. When we reached the ship, the blue-eyed man told us to climb a rope ladder that was dangling over the ship. Step lively, he said, which we did. Through the ladder, though the ladder swayed and the ship rolled. He came up after us and took me to a place in the bow where the food was cooking on a brick stove. I was not there a second before the cook thrust a knife into my hand and pointed out a basket of potatoes. He said nothing, but made motions which meant that I was to peel them. I did not know what happened to Mondo until noon, when the men came in to eat. He was as oily and black as the rest, and when he spoke, his teeth glistened white against his skin. "What do you do?" I whispered to him. "I toss hunks of blubber into the pots," he whispered back. "The heat and the smoke are bad, and the smell, it does something to the stomach. Tomorrow I will go crazy and jump overboard. Maybe I will go crazy before tomorrow."